XRP Ripple, the biggest Marmite coin in the industry, in my opinion. Some people love it, some people hate it. Regardless, it's still one of the biggest players in the market and only an impressive 65% down from the highs of 2021. Of course, not all-time highs. We had that rally beyond $3 back in 2017, thanks to NBC, I believe it was, putting out a literal tutorial on how to buy XRP on the mainstream news, which obviously sent it absolutely crazy. Probably one of the biggest top signals I've ever seen in the market. Unfortunately, I was still very green at the time, so didn't realize just how big of a top signal it was. Regardless, if you've seen these videos over the last couple of weeks, you'll know how these go. I'll be going through the charts, looking at some potential price targets, both to the upside and to the downside in the USDT and BTC pairings. When I would like to have my bags packed if I were an investor in the project, bullish, bearish signals to watch out for, TP areas for both the USDT and BTC pairs. And if you'd like to understand better the relationship between Alt BTC, ETH BTC, and the Bitcoin dominance charts, then I will link a video at the end where I go over it in a little bit more detail. Finally, as well, thank you for all the likes, comments, and subs over the past couple of weeks. All massively appreciate it. So please do continue if you enjoy our content. With that out of the way, let's get into the chart. So as I say, XRP down only 65% from those highs in 2021, which is not bad considering most of the projects we've covered recently are well into the 80-90%, some even 95% down from all-time highs. So yeah, XRP has actually performed pretty well throughout this bear market. As you can see, we're on the monthly time frame this time. Most of the other charts we use, most of the other assets we've used weekly, but the monthly chart on XRP is pretty clean and it just makes things a little bit simpler. But we've got a monthly range high here at 93 cents. We've got a range like 18 cents and the mid-range coming in at about 57 cents. And as you can see, there's a clear level of support and resistance. In terms of bullish bearish signals, of course, a breakout of the range is very bullish, and I'm pretty sure that once we get back above $1, that'll be us on the way to the next bull market, or well within the next bull market. I think once we breach $1, XRP is going to start flying. Beware, of course, of a potential rejection at the range high or like a little fake out deviation back inside. In terms of downside targets, to be honest, I can't see us going below the bottom we put in at 33 cents during 2022. All of the FUD of the Ripple case has obviously been lifted. We didn't break below this during the whole of 2022, and unless there's a industry-wide black swan, I can't see any reason why Ripple would trade lower. If it does, of course, then you get to load up your bags down at the range low that we haven't actually touched since 2020. As I say, very unlikely, but if the opportunity comes, then happy days, of course. Completely up to you to do your own research and whether you like the project, etc. This is not an endorsement. But in terms of a chance to get in and fill your bags, if we go to the weekly time frame, a potential pullback from the last 4 weeks of price action is this monthly mid-range at around 57 cents. You can see on the weekly time frame, it's been a solid level of support and resistance. So if you're feeling a bit of FOMO or fancy a trade, then I think a pullback into sort of 57, 58 cents could be a really good area. So in terms of having my bags packed, if I were an investor in this, I'd certainly want to have my bags packed before we approach that monthly range high, as I mentioned earlier, because I think once we break out of there, it's off to the races. So now let's move on to some TP areas. So quickly, just caveat this by saying, of course, this is just for display purposes. If you want to use TP areas, then it's completely up to you when and how you want to take profits. You can use profits for multiple options. You can either use it to rebuy the dips. You can either use it to diversify into other projects or even just withdraw it to your own bank account. However you choose to do it is completely up to you. These are just for visual purposes for those who may be a little bit inexperienced, and also it shows you how effective it can be just to have that plan in place so that emotions don't take over. Because when the bull market really gets going, if you're just holding on to all-time highs, XRP is a perfect example. We may never get back to all-time highs. So always worth taking some profits. You don't go broke taking profits. As I say, it's completely up to you when and where you take those profits. This is just for illustration purposes only. So let's get on with it. First TP area for me looks a bit shallow, and I'm sure people wouldn't want to be taking profit off the table here. However, what if we get a spike just above $1 to bait people in, and then we get a big pullback to this monthly range high around 93, 94 cents? Potential area of support, we've seen it before. where we broke out in August, used it as support. Now that time we broke back inside the range. This time it could just be up to $1.14, down to 92, and then up again. So you get the chance to rebuy here. Now, of course, you don't have to take loads off the table, maybe 10%, but you get that little bit of profit to use for, you know, whatever you want to use it for, as I mentioned earlier. So a little shallow. Let's just, as always with these videos, let's go to what a return to that price from current day's prices would be. And you're looking at still a decent 60% return, so not too bad at all. Next TP, as you can see, there's not many. But the next TP would be these monthly wicks up here at about $1.40. Pretty decent level of resistance there. So again, let's take a look at what that'd be. That's pretty much doubling your money from here, of course, about 70 cents up to $1.40. Next TP for me would be up here about $1.80. I'd want to be front running $2, which was pretty much the top of 2021. So let's just take a look at that, and that is 150%. And then finally, pretty much anywhere above $2 would be my final TP if we were to get there. Now, as I say, maybe we don't reach all-time highs, maybe we don't break them, but always worth taking some profits along the way, as I say, because you don't want to be that person that round trips it. But say we do get up to around $2.50, that is a 250% return. And then, of course, pretty much once you break $2, it's completely up to you where you want to take profits. Now, another way of taking profits could just be at round numbers. So, you know, some at $1.50, $1.75, $2, $2.25, etc. However you want to do it, it's just important to have that plan in place so that emotions don't take over and stop you from taking from profiting from your investments and doing the hard work of buying in the bear market. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the BTC pair side of things. And again, we're on the monthly time frame. Oh, in fact, I did just want to show you actually back on the weekly. These levels that I've marked out are pretty well respected on the weekly time frames as well. So especially this one here that I talked about at $1.40, you can see that's a heavy bit of resistance on the monthly, and it's translated as well into the weekly. Same with $1.80 as well. You can see all these weekly wicks in there. So definitely very good areas for taking profit. As I say, you could see hit that level, come back down, retest the support, and you can rebuy your bag with a bit extra or having extracted some profits out, etc. So yeah, pretty good TP areas. Of course, use them if you like. Let's move on then to XRP BTC. And once again, we've got this nice clean monthly range. So monthly range high at around, which I've named monthly level, but you know what it is, around 3,368 sats. Range low coming in at 440 sats, and that mid-range coming in at pretty much 2,000 sats. And again, a pretty clean level of support and resistance as well. So pretty standard. I will definitely want to have my bags packed before we attack this monthly range high at 3,300 sats. I think once again, once we break above this, then it is off to the races, and you don't want to be scrambling trying to add to a position once we're above here. So this is pretty much a really nice, perfect area to be starting to pack those bags. If we get a little bit lower down to this monthly range low, if Bitcoin dominance starts to ramp up again and altcoins start to drop, then maybe you get a chance for an even better risk reward. However, right now at 2,000 sats is still pretty good, and a return to all-time highs from this level. Let's just take a look. You're looking at 1,000%, although let's yeah, in fact, wow, actually what I've just realized is that the 2021 high was a lot lower than the 2017 high, as you can see. So yeah, look at that, only 100% back to all-time highs back to the 2021 highs. Now, if we do break out of this range, then we could see at least a run to these highs from January 2019, which are about 400%. So yeah, interesting. I just noticed that. So let's go and take a look at some profit areas or some TP areas. So coming in first now, again, looks like it's quite early. However, as I've just highlighted, we didn't get very high in the BTC pair side of things in 2021. So some profits here at about 4,400, or maybe you want to literally go for those highs from 2021 at around 3,500. Take some profit off the table. Not too bad at all. And let's take a look at what that would be. A return to there, about double your money, and a little bit more, 120%. Next TP, if we were to smash the highs of 2021, would be up here at around 7,500 sats. Let's take a look at what that would be from here. I think my computer's a little bit slow at the moment. 250%. Next TP, at sort of 9,500 sats. This was at the peak of the FOMO in sort of 2018, or sorry, on the back end of the FOMO rally from 2017. As you can see, this was the big lower high we put in 2018, 370%. And then the final two TPs are pretty much up in the clouds, where we had that mania run thanks to the mainstream media putting that how-to guide or how to buy guide on the TV. So 600% return back at 14,000 sats, and then finally up at 20,000 sats. Whether we get those highs again, who knows? But another great example of, you don't want to be holding on to all-time high for all-time highs, because they may never come, let alone surpassing them. So can you imagine the people that were buying the dip, waiting for this big rally in 2021 in the BTC pair, never really came, expecting things to break past the all-time highs 2017, never came to fruition. So that's not just XRP, that's with everything. That's why in all these videos that I've been covering all these different altcoins, I've been saying you want to take profits along the way, even if it's only 10% at each of the levels I say, or the levels that you pick out, whatever it is, as long as you've got some profits taken, and then you've got 40, 50, 60% of your position left to run to all-time highs or past all-time highs, that's great. But just be cautious that this kind of thing can happen. And the other example I like to always use as well is ADA BTC, which again did something very similar. It never quite made it up to its 2017 all-time highs in the Bitcoin pair, as you can see. So 2017 topped out about 8,800 sats. In 2021, it topped out about 6,000. So always worth taking some profits. You don't go broke taking profits. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drop a comment below what pair you would like to see us cover next. And in the meantime, have a good week, and I will catch you on the next video.